welcome to another episode of Husbands Watching Housewives. I'm Scott.
And I am Jeff.
And we just watched an episode of The Real Housewives of Atlanta.
We sure did.
Or The Real First Ladies of Grenada.
Yes.
Yes, that's what it should be. They should do a spinoff. That'd be great.
I think it'd be a competition to become the first lady of Grenada.
Yes.
Or Grenada.
Yeah, they could mix it up with a little Love Hotel and then bring.
Yes.
Yes.
You'd be the ultimate bachelor. Yes.
He would be. He was kind of cute.
Yeah, he looked very young.
Yes.
I too was like, wait, you have a 17-year-old? You look like you're in your 30s, but.
Well, I mean, he could be in his late 30s and have a 17-year-old.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, still technically in his mid-30s and have a 17-year-old. Yeah.
I guess you could.
You could.
I guess you could.
I know how math works. Well, if you're just joining us, thanks. We appreciate it. Please like, subscribe, find us on socials media. We're at Husbands Watching and Husbands Watching Housewives, things like that, you know.
Sure. I've never really found us, but yeah.
I've never gone looking for us. I'm just logged in already, so I don't need to worry about it.
Clocked in.
But yeah. So, yeah, I think we mentioned this recently, but if you're just finding us, we are two husbands. We watch Housewives. We try not to recap. We just try to give our thoughts on what we just saw and how it made us feel. And, because we got feelings.
We got feelings.
This was a fun episode.
It was a fun episode.
It truly was a fun episode.
Yes.
I think it was very lighthearted. I mean, there's titties on the counter. There was nipple covers, the whole 9 yards.
Or lack of nipple covers.
Thereof, yes. So,
yeah.
But yeah. Before we get into Atlanta, though, I think
it's been a big Bravo News week.
It's been a big Bravo News week. We've had a lot going on.
What do you want to start
9
with?
yards.
Let's start with us.
Let's start with us. Just the cat, basically.
I think the cat was the only thing.
Yeah, the cat. So we got our results back from the doctor about the cat, and Maeve. She had or he, however you want to, what pronouns you want to use.
Yeah.
Got an EKG, and they had some recommendations. So we got to put her on 3 medications, and for a cat, if you've never had a cat, and you've never had to put a pill in a cat's mouth and make them take it. It results in a lot of scratches.
A lot of really scratched.
I'm scratched everywhere. We've learned to put on a hoodie before you try it. But it's only been this is the 3rd day that we had the medication. Did we try it on Friday?
We might have tried Friday.
Friday night we did.
Yeah.
She already seems to be a little better at okay, fine, I'm taking this pill.
You have to be really quick. And some of the pills are bigger than others. So it's 4 times there's 3 medications, but one you take twice a day. So altogether 4 pills she's getting a day.
Yeah.
So it's a lot to be open your mouth, cat, and not because she doesn't know what's going on, and she's alarmed, why are you holding me so tightly and trying to shove this thing down my throat?
And you have pry her mouth open and everything, and really shove a pill, and she's just looking up at you why are you doing this to me? It seems so traumatic, and I've had some feelings about it today. I did cry a little bit. Yeah. So, you just don't want to hurt your cat. This is supposed to help her.
Really Portia Shemia. I'm not sure about your leg.
Will you put your titties in my face?
That's nurturing.
Yeah, please nurture me over here. So, yeah, it's been a week with the cat, and it's a lot.
It's a lot.
And you just want the cat to be good. But apparently one of the pills they prescribed her, my friend Esther says that they gave that to her dog and rejuvenated him, made him all nice and happy for a little while longer. So I'm hoping this has a good effect on her.
We're dealing with a lot. We're dealing with heart disease, kidney disease, a clot that we don't want to break off. It's a lot.
Yeah. So
we love her so much, and we're just going to do whatever we can to make sure that she's comfortable and good. So
while we've been dealing with this, we also got to deal with the joys of trying to buy BravoCon tickets during the pre-sale. I don't know if any of you tried doing it. If you tried and you succeeded, please let us know how much fun you had. But we were in the pre-sale on Thursday, just refresh, and then every set of tickets we tried to buy, couldn't do it. Weren't available. Vanished in the carts. And I think within the first 5 minutes while I was, everything was in the cart, I Googled and went over to StubHub and saw that they already had tickets up for resale. People had just bought them in the first 5 minutes and put them up for resale.
That's the thing. It's all the tickets were being snatched up by resellers. So it's no one had much of a chance. We were so shut out. We weren't in the same place. We were both at work trying to text, and I missed his text. And
yeah, so we were trying for VIP tickets.
Yeah.
And we were like, well, that didn't happen.
Like that.
Yeah, they're gone, sold out. So when they went sell out, I went over to the GA tickets and started looking there, and I finally got 2 in my cart. But when they were in your cart, you only have 2 minutes to pay for it. So I was like messaging Jeff. I was like,
that's stupid work.
Yeah, I would. Damn, making a living.
So I can afford these tickets.
Right, for sure. And so we didn't end up getting them. So, like, it just astounding that they sold out of both GA and VIP in the pre-sale
so quickly.
And it was just so stressful. Not stressful is not even the right word.
I was stressed, and I was upset that I'd missed your tax, so we didn't get the GA ones. And logically, I knew that they weren't going to totally sell out. Thered be, for the next day,
right?
So cut to the next day,
yeah,
and we're home up here. 8:55, ready just to pounce on these tickets.
And I'm clicking refresh over and over and over again from 8:55 on up through 9 a.m. And then when we told this story to a friend, she's like, why weren't you just hitting F5? And I'm like, damn it, I forgot about F5. I am such a keyboard shortcut person.
I'm Control R.
Oh, Control R does it?
Yeah, that's a hard refresh.
I got a hard refresh. No, when it comes to Excel and stuff, I do everything with keyboard shortcuts.
Yeah.
So I'm so surprised that and actually it's one of the things that I do for my job. I have to refresh a screen and I just hold down F5. I'm like, come on, refresh. Anyway, moral of the story, right at 9 a.m., popped up 2 tickets in the cart, add to cart, paid for them. All good. Done. It was such, like this story probably, it was kind of a letdown. We were all this stress about this yesterday, all this anxiety, and got 2 tickets.
I think also too, if we hadn't gotten them, we would have been okay because we had a great time in 2020.
True.
And we're yes, we definitely want to go and whatever. But if we had missed out on it, we'd been it's okay. But I'm glad we're going. And I think this will probably be our last hurrah with BravoCon because it's so insanely expensive, more so than 2 years ago, and it's a lot, and we had to put our money elsewhere.
For sure, put it many places elsewhere.
Yeah.
So but if you are going to BravoCon, love to hear about it. And if it's your first time, it's a great time. You're gonna enjoy yourself.
It is a full-time job though, so just be ready. Drink your Gatorade,
get ready,
get your electrolytes.
And the food is questionable, but it's supposed to be better this year, though.
I hope everything, from the photo ops to the food, I hope they improve.
Right.
You study what you did, and then you improve. That's what you should do.
I know the one thing that doesn't need improvement is the amazing bathrooms.
Oh, the bathrooms are so good.
The bathrooms at the Caesars Forum are just pretty damn amazing.
Delightful.
And I love that because it's a woman heavy event that the ladies just start pouring into the men's room. It's just like a gay club. I love it.
I know there was a guy though who was not happy about it when that happened because
he probably really had to and
he probably needed a stall situation. And he was really upset there were all these ladies invading.
But I'm looking forward to BravoCon. We already have the hotel booked. Now we have to do airfare. That'll be.
Let's look at that. Yeah,
I'm gonna keep an eye out. I'll see if I can work some Google magic. So
we have some time.
Yeah, definitely.
And then switching to
just Bravo news in general.
So the Atlanta reunion.
Oh.
I mean, so yes, in the midst of all of a sudden Thursday with the freaking tickets in the pre-sale, this news starts trickling in, and I'm all upset, and I'm on Instagram, wait, what? Who? So if you didn't know, Brake did not go to the reunion, and it was very surprising, and it messed up my seating chart. Had she been there, I think I would have been, no, because Drew was at the end. But I was almost there. So Britt doesn't show up. Then she put something on her stories that, I'm not coming, blah, blah, blah. And then the revelation of, oh, by the way, those photos with the person with the penis in their mouth, that wasn't me. She's Shaggy. It wasn't me. And we're I'm sorry. This entire season has been built on revenge porn against you by Kenya, and that wasn't you. And she's claiming that she never saw these pictures until just recently to verify it wasn't her, which makes you think, so you thought there were some other pictures of you?
Right.
No shade, no shame, but you thought there were other pictures of you sucking a D, but those weren't those pictures that Kenya unearthed.
Yeah.
okay.
I mean, what Kenya did was still absolutely inappropriate and wrong. But I mean, I guess if Phaedra can come back, why can't Kenya?
I mean, Kenya was doing all the right things of tweeting, like, again, apologizing to Brit,
right,
taking accountability. Like, I think Kenya's like, I'm sure one of those girls, probably Cynthia,
yeah,
like texted Kenya, like, girl.
The whole thing about it is like, she never was in the room when Kenya presented the photos, so I get that. But you'd think between all the investigations that Bravo had and did, not that Bravo is to be like, here, watch this, is this you? Or not that that's even relevant, but you'd think if I was involved in something like that, I would want to see what the hubbub was about.
Yes.
Well before anything went on the air. Like, that was investigated prior to airing. And
that was a really long time ago, this whole thing. It happened at the opening of the salon. So no one, nor did she request to see it. But then, now we know, cut to the next day, Friday, and she's suing Bravo because they didn't make her aware, so she says, of the situation, and she's suing them for harassment and defamation and, being in I think an unhealthy or toxic work environment, a lot of things. $20 million lawsuit. Between not coming to the reunion and now suing Bravo, we can safely say Brit is done.
Oh. Look at you and spontaneous podcast behavior.
I might put that back up. But anyway.
That's fine. We can move Cynthia. Maybe move Kelly around.
Yeah.
So I guess you know what should we make it look like the actual seating chart now? You know what?
I think we should.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, you're someone I don't really, put in the column of spontaneity, but you just ripped that right off. I wasn't expecting
We're done. I mean, Bravo's done with
Brit.
So.
Yeah, it just seems for sure like, I don't know. I don't always go to the reunion. I just hate
always go
to the reunion. And you said before we heard about her suing, you said like, well, now she doesn't even get her like full paycheck. Like, at least get your money.
You don't get your full paycheck. You also don't get to have a voice, like, and say and confront these women for what they've said to you, or like, take ownership for things you've done. It's just they just talk about you. And then it's just it's so bad not to go to the reunion.
I need to check is it the Bravo docket? That's the one with the two women, do the legal thing. I wonder if they've done an episode about it yet, because they probably know a little bit, and because they've gotten their hands on other housewives' contracts, like even like Leah McSweeney's contract, and they've kind of gone over like how they can and can't sue. And so it's one of those things where I wonder like how much, I don't know, like there's a contract, and I have to think that after all the lawsuits that came from Leah and even Nene and whatever else has gone on, that like if they hired someone to the show in the year of our Lord 2024 or 2025 and didn't have all that language already sorted out, I would be really surprised. So to me, I'm curious if it's just a lot like you can file a lawsuit and it can be dismissed, like nothing's going to come of it. But, I mean, I'd be curious.
I think they can't sue each other. So I don't think you can put in a contract that you can't sue your employer.
Right.
Because then you're creating you're someone in a corner.
That's
from the get-go.
It just seems like a strange, I don't know. I'd be interested in hearing more about it. Like, obviously she feels like, I hate saying, like, it feels like it's some sort of, like, she doesn't like the way she was obviously portrayed, and, like, this feels like it's to save face. But I am curious to know, like, what else is driving this.
Well, what else?
Really, what exactly, she feels should have been done differently.
Also, like, what else happens between now and the finale that evoked, I don't know.
Yeah, it just seems like a lot, and I mean, I guess that's one thing. At least normally when we find out someone doesn't go to the reunion, we're like, well, what's the point in watching anymore? But at least now
well, normally it's like someone quits for the reunion and we find out.
Oh, right.
And then it's like, well, hey, thanks, Dorinda.
This is effectively quitting before the reunion.
Yes. If you don't if you're a rookie and you don't show up to your reunion, barring like having COVID, Diana, you have to show up to the reunion.
Right.
So
then,
but going back to the seating chart of it all, Drew being at the end, everyone's talking about this.
Oh, really?
Like,
I'm talking about it. I'm going to sneeze again.
Okay. Oh, bless you. That's all I thought there was.
Thank you. I'm stifling it for the podcast. For those of you who don't already know me, I sneeze. Any sort of light in my face makes me sneeze. I'd be the worst cat burglar. And I sneeze like at least 12, 13 times in a row. It's just awful. So I apologize. I at least muted myself this time. I didn't mute myself last time.
I should have muted myself.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So you're saying about Drew on the end of the couch?
People are surprised. I mean, like, Drew was in a lot of drama, and I think Kelly was not comparatively, and I think Kelly should have been at the end, not Drew. And I don't like Drew that much, but, like, I think just fair is fair.
And I bring up, I think that maybe it's the Ann B. Davis as Alice situation. She's, like, getting the nice...
No one...
Featured...
Look, the only person who likes being at the end is Candy, because that's why she doesn't want to be a part of, like, big drama. But, like... Nobody else wants to be at the end, and they feel a certain type of way, and the internet feels a certain type of way. So no, it's not good to be at the end, and especially given the season that she had when her name was in everyone's mouth. So I just think...
don't get me started. Don't even get me started.
So I just think that's really suspect. But aside from that, I agree with the other stuff, you know.
Good.
And I guess Cynthia was probably, even though she's a friend, she's probably out there the entire time just to balance out the couches.
I hope so.
Well, they could really throw Kelly on Phaedra's side. I don't know. We'll see. We'll know. I mean, who knows how alliances shift between now and the finale.
Right. So there's other Housewives news.
We got the O2 trailer.
Mm-hmm.
That was pretty great, aside from a certain person. We'll get into that when OC airs. But it looked like a pretty good season.
Yeah, it looks like it's good.
It looked like the Let's Come at Katie season.
Mm-hmm.
And
well, it's her second season, so I mean,
but at the end, everyone was calling her a liar. She had a rough reunion, real rough.
Yeah.
When Jen Pajanchi is your only savior.
That's supposed to come out in July, right?
July 10th.
Okay,
Thursday.
Right around the corner.
So that looked good. And then we heard that Rachel Zoe is joining Beverly Hills.
Which I apologize to everyone in advance. I will only refer to her as Rachel Zoe Project, even though we're talking about Housewives.
What was that group? The Tony something project. Do you remember that? It was one dude, but it was like the Tony Rich Project. He was like an R&B singer.
Oh.
And anywho, sorry, that's me thinking. Did you watch the Rachel Zoe Project?
I think the only things I ever saw of the Rachel Zoe Project were on Pop Soup.
Okay.
So
you got no idea though.
Yeah, I have an idea for
of
sure,
how she talked, and that's bananas.
I'm excited that there's another name in reality TV coming on. Like, people know her already, so I think there's going to be like a good expectation set for it. And
I'm curious because like she had her own show, and it was about her and her clients and like styling and fashion, whatever. So she didn't have to really fight with people.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm curious to see how she does like in the situation.
Didn't she fight with her assistant like all the time? And
Taylor a bit, and then Brad. Well, she and Brad had a horrible falling out and still don't talk to this day.
Is that also the same show that fashion PR maven Kelly Catrone was on?
No, that was The Hills.
Oh, that was The Hills.
Yes. You did watch The Soup, yes.
I watched The Soup religiously.
Yeah.
That was back in the heyday. That was great.
That was 2000s Bravo. Yeah, for sure. So yeah, that'll be interesting.
Yeah.
And then Monique.
Oh, Monique.
Like, it was things kept coming. Like, I was like, surely nothing else. And then Saturday morning, Monique's going to be back on Potomac as a friend. Like, has hell frozen over?
I mean.
And then you see her like in pictures at the Pride for DC Pride, because G&A had a float, and she was like in a picture standing next to Giselle.
It is a lifestyle brand, so I mean,
it's not a lifestyle; it's about outreach to the community.
Oh, right. Sorry, I keep forgetting.
Yeah.
You seem to be a little bit more like shocked,
shocked
about Monique coming back. Like, I mean, why is that?
Because she left on bad terms with the majority of the cast, except for Ashley. That was like her only friend. And based on like what she did to Candace, no matter how you feel like Candace, it was wrong for her to put hands on her.
Right.
And she was definitely like, I don't need this job. You know, my husband's like a millionaire, whatever. And then cut to now, and she's been off for 5 seasons, and she's getting a divorce, and maybe she does need this check.
She might. She needs another bird.
Not the bird.
Yes, the bird.
T'Challa. So I'm just surprised. Like,
you remember? Oh, of course, T'Challa.
Yeah. Because Giselle hated Monique with a passion. I think more than she hated Candace. And so it's really shocking to see Monique back.
Well, I mean, they need to do something on Potomac. I mean, Karen won't be on there, and so they need to fill some space. And I'm sure they're going to have someone else on as well, right?
It has to be, because it basically will be like full-time Giselle, Ashley, Wendy, Stacy, and Kiarna.
Yeah.
So
really? I forgot about Kiarna.
She needs, story, but she's great.
Yeah.
She's a good talk to.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I guess without Mia and Karen, they need something. They have to bring on another.
It has to be another full-time person. If Monique is only going to be a friend.
So help me if they're keeping tight-lipped that Robin Dixon's coming back.
There's no way the Robin's coming back.
Well, apparently, if people could leave the show and Robin at least, stick around one more season, didn't just walk off.
Right.
So.
No, they just need like one other girl.
Yeah.
So, because Jazzy isn't going to be full-time. I don't know if she's like a friend of.
Was she even really on last season?
She was.
Really?
She was. Remember the whole thing? She got married this weekend.
Oh, well, congratulations.
Yeah.
What if they bring Vivian on? Wasn't that her name?
Oh, God, Vivian. Just to like have beef with Stacey.
Yeah. That'd be good. Maybe TJ will be the extra housewife. That'll be good.
He gets a flute.
When you said flute, I thought like a flute.
That too.
So yeah, there's a lot going on in the housewives world, and not to mention all the stuff that's going on, Paige DeSorbo quitting and all that stuff and all those other things we don't watch.
Right, Summer House, so much. Oh gosh.
Yeah.
Anywho, this brings us back to Atlanta in tonight's episode, which was good.
It was a good episode.
How did it start?
See, we never remember. It's like we should take notes.
Boop, 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 boop.
It started off with them recapping and setting up the problem that Britt didn't donate anything.
Right.
Because I was like, wait a minute, why are they back in Shamia's driveway? But it was Shamia explaining.
Well, that was after they went to the waterfall. I think it started off with we're going on, excursions.
Mm-hmm.
We're splitting up the group so we can talk about one another.
Oh, yeah. It started off with them showing up in the kitchen wearing all their different clothes.
Right.
And needing nipple covers. Right. And then Angela trying to call her husband.
Charles.
At 10 in the morning.
Right.
Yes.
He wasn't answering.
He didn't answer.
So, yes, they go to the waterfall. Portia, Phaedra, Shamia, and...
Cynthia. It was like the OGs,
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So at the waterfalls, they're not chasing them.
No.
Just at the waterfalls.
I was debating whether I would make a chasing waterfalls. I was like, no, I'm gonna take the high road, Jeff. And no,
you know
what? Go ahead and
I just go low. You go high, I go low.
You take the low hanging fruits. Yeah. Yeah, they did some dancing in the waterfall. Some booty clapping. Shamia looked great in her two-piece.
Right. Cynthia looked great. Yeah, Cynthia looked great. She was trying to twerk. It's always funny when Cynthia tries to twerk, and she was probably really slippery because it's a waterfall, so she's probably like, oh God, let me not fall off this rock.
Right. And then
the other ladies went.
A cooking
Which
class.
was going, okay.
Yeah, and then they pretty much let Kelly do it all. Yeah, I don't feel like much was really going on at the beginning. Like they were just kind of recapping what was going on and like kind of what happened last night, and then I think the only that really happened wasn't it just Kelly and Drew and
Black.
Yeah, Black. They're trying to bring that up.
Which is like she's not going there, so it's a non-starter.
Yeah, exactly.
And then they basically got back to Britt and her lack of a donation. But apparently she cash apped like
$250.
Right, to Shamia.
I do like that all the women just kind of like, come on, we make a lot of money, at least $1,000.
Exactly.
And I liked Phaedra's logic behind that, which was, look, we spend $200 to $300 on our nails. Like, you should definitely, if we're going to be donating to a charity, give more than you'd spend on yourself. There's no reason why you can't give more money. And in that case, I'm like, yeah, I think so.
Yes, hurricane victims, come on.
I mean, I do think it is a little... It's a little shitty to be, charity shaming someone.
Well, I feel like if she had come with a better donation, like if she'd gotten a pallet of water, like Kelly, as opposed to like 3 paper towel rolls, and
I would have liked had Shamia taken at least some responsibility when, Britt's saying like, well, you said give whatever I'm okay to give, and that's what I gave. Like, leave it at that. And then, not, and then maybe let someone be like, okay, well, girl, you make more money than that. Like, you can afford more, and just take that separately. But to sit there just right off the bat and just be like, meh. But
it also bugged me that Shamia was being passive aggressive, and I had to like side with Britt.
Yeah,
like, come on, like just say it to her face. Like, talk about the tequila thing.
Oh, that's what was happening in the morning, was the tequila shots.
Right.
Wasn't it?
No, well, the shots.
Was that when they got back from both of them? We really should take notes, at least just to keep this.
Well, because we were so focused on the news of the week. They were like, oh yeah, the episode.
Well, it's not even that. I just think that the overall feeling of this episode was just good old-fashioned housewives fun. Like, I think that they got to where they got into some stuff, but it wasn't like so heavy. And, they were dancing, they're having fun, they're having drinks, like it was just a good episode. Like, it felt lighthearted even when it was getting, into stuff.
Yeah.
And that's what I liked about it. Like, because it was at dinner where Britt was trying to go back with Portia back and forth. You'd let me finish. And then the Prime Minister showed up. So it's like, I like that things were broken up and nothing really got too heavy. Mm-hmm. And I especially liked after the Prime Minister left after dinner and everything, that like Britt's trying to start it back up. Like, wait.
So as I was saying,
everyone was like, no,
we have to have a table.
Not doing that.
Yeah.
So like
the Portia thing was so petty of like, you didn't know who I was, and it's like, I've been on a group chat before, and I just kind of go with it, like. But I understand, with them, it would be more important to be like, no, who is this? Like, right. I need to, like, save your...
Well, it makes me wonder, like, I
could just ask production.
Well, I wonder, production must give them, like, hey, this is everyone's phone number in case you need it. Like, if you call out sick...
Not a call sheet.
Here, text her, let her know you're not going to make it, that sort of thing.
Right.
You got to get coverage for your shift. So I'd have to imagine they already had the phone number, but I think Britt's probably right in one regard, but like she's hanging on it too hard, in that like Portia probably should have already had her number and just never saved it in the phone. So it was a little shady to be like,
who are you?
Yeah, who are you? I didn't bother saving your number because you're nobody. That's what it implies.
You're a newbie. I know.
And I agree, but at the same time, like. Portia did try to say, and I believe it to a point, like, it's not all that. Like, it's not as big as you're making it out to be.
Right. Like, Britt was really just like, you didn't invite me to your house. And it's like, well, I mean, is that big? I see with these events. I went to your event. Right. I went to your event where, like, no one else got fed, and I felt weird eating in front of everybody. Like, by the way, she's being sued by, like, the country club case.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Oh, goodness.
And her party planner, I think, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Not a good first
Not
season.
Girl. One and done season.
I did like Fader's advice of like, like, look, you're new, and if someone's saying that you're not inviting them to the house and you're not connecting with them, then you need to do that. And it's good advice. And I liked hearing Britt be like, so you want me to be fake about it? I got to ramp up my fake. It's like, no, don't be fake, but like create yourself an opportunity. Like if someone's telling you, you haven't invited me over, like you haven't gotten to know me, that's them saying like, look, maybe if you got to know me and you like made an effort, I'd feel more comfortable with you. And I think that made sense. But her exact words were, you invite her over and you get out a charcuterie.
That's what you do. Watch any housewife show. You have your charcuterie, you have your champagne.
Yeah.
Like, just throw some cheeses on the board, call it a day. I think that, and that's another reason why she should have come to the reunion. I don't really know Britt's point of view, and she hasn't really expressed it well, but I'm going to say she probably didn't feel supported.
Well, she said that numerous times.
From the get-go. I mean, like from the incident at the salon, which wasn't her, up until now, she hasn't felt that she was really fully supported. And then cut to like Angela calling her a whore and all these things. She just felt, maybe odd man out, except for Kelly. And these other friendships, in quotes, were like very superficial.
Right.
And you didn't invite me to your house and la-di-da, la-di-da. So.
Well, weren't they saying that Britt didn't invite them to her house?
Both. No one, like, Britt was at no one's house and came to Britt's house.
I mean, Britt's house didn't seem all that fancy.
No, it's not.
Yeah, and then her husband, she's sitting at the breakfast bar being grumpy.
I mean, her husband's just like irate. Like he makes
Matt?
Mike?
Well, we won't need to remember.
Exactly. He won't be brought out at a reunion.
Yeah, no, he won't. No. Maybe he shows up. No, kidding. Yeah.
And then the whole, so like Shmi was being passive aggressive, like Portia was being like whatever. The whole Angela Charles thing, I don't really care. I really don't. I like Angela a lot. I don't care about Charles as a character because he's really over it and not being very supportive of her. Yeah. And I get it. Like but
well, I don't know that he's not being supportive. I just think he's like, you're on the show. He's giving me Todd energy of sorts from Salt Lake.
Todd will be a good talk to. Charles is not a good
right.
Like Angela's gonna be like, so let's look what happened and did it or like, let me tell you what happened.
Like, and
exactly. Like you inadvertently signed up for this show. She had to get your approval to be featured. You had to sign something saying they wouldn't blur out your face. So you're on the show. So I don't need you to do like everything and be like fucking freaking Peter and like be, like a peach holder, but like you need to like kind of give a little something.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that for sure. I just feel like he's probably, I don't know, he seemed to be like, especially when she called him like, you need to give me something. Like, she was just kind of looking for like, I love you, happy anniversary thing. Right. And he didn't even say that. And that seemed a little iffy to me for sure.
It's either, I don't know if it's like he hates the show or there's issues with their marriage. I can't tell.
I don't think there's issues with the marriage. It doesn't seem that way. I mean, I guess if we're to believe what all the women are saying, that there's stuff going on and he doesn't wear his wedding ring. And
I don't think it's that. I think it's like more so they need to work on and be in therapy and figure out their stuff. I don't think there's a baby. I don't think there's another lady. I just think they have they're not connecting as husband and wife.
I don't know. Like I feel early on in the season when they were like hanging out in the house and just kind of being there, it just seems like they have more of a relaxed kind of, this is what it is sort of, interaction with each other. And he doesn't seem to be someone who's flowery. So I just feel like he's like, what, if we were hanging out in the same house, I wouldn't be all like, oh, honey, I miss you. I love you. He would just be like, happy anniversary. Have a good day.
Yes. Much like Britt, Charles is not going to be fake.
Yeah. But anyway, I like the two of them, and I don't see what you're saying with there being a problem, but
time will tell. If she comes back for a second season.
I think she'll be back.
Oh, I think she will, but I'm saying like.
Oh yeah, we'll see when they have more in.
Right. Because we're gonna have to get to like the nitty gritty of that.
Right. And then
it was really just like the Shamia stuff was very sad.
That was sad.
Yeah, she hasn't really listed all of her daughter's health issues before like that, and it's a lot, and I just really feel for her. And
well, I was like, I'm feeling that sort of thing about our damn cat. I can't imagine if it was our damn kid.
Right, like so many things, like the flu, like and like kidneys issues, and a hole in her heart. And it's just
And then to find out they have a caretaker that's letting the kid freeze in a cold room, and that's
horrible. Good. And then like
you're across the world, but
you're very far away from home. Yeah. You can't be there, and you feel guilty. Like, why am I doing this? When I should be at home. And it's just really, I did think it was great how everyone came and supported her, and they're very emotional themselves, being mothers. I do. To draw the line at Britt, like just shouting in her face, like, I love you. I love you. This is a sisterhood. And I'm like, okay.
She channeled Sutton and got the sisterhood.
She was
going.
Really like, I'm going to wrap a bow around you, Shami. I'm going to bind you, Nancy, by your doing harm.
Yeah, that just seemed a little much. I mean, I can't imagine someone would act that way if it wasn't genuine, but like it was just
like, we're going through some shit, but I love you, and we're going to put that aside, and I'm going to do some shots now, and here are my tits. Like
on the counter. Yeah. Oh yeah, then someone just because we're all over the place. The night before, someone threw up. Was it Britt?
Portia?
Or was it Portia? I think it was Britt.
You said Portia.
I may have had it wrong.
Oh, I was looking at my phone.
Oh, okay.
I was looking at the Tony Awards.
Congrats, Cola Scola. Congrats.
Yes, and Nicole Scherzinger.
Yeah. So, yeah. I hate to say that, this was I hate to say that we finally have like a good episode where I'm like excited about it and like, oh, that was a fun watch. And I don't really have much to say about it. Like all the other news that came out is kind of eclipsing what's going on.
The most interesting thing that Brit has done is leave the show, not show with the reunion, sue Bravo. Like it was just not good casting from the get-go.
Yeah, it just seems like even in this episode when she's trying to get buy-in and involve
it's not like a sore thumb. That's what it is. Everything, even Drew can go along and get along,
right?
And I think everyone else is like, yeah, we're having fun, we're doing whatever, and Brit's just like, I
don't know. I just feel like she's doing a whole I thought you'd like me more. I thought you'd treat me better. And it's like, well, what guarantees that?
She saw this going a whole different kind of way.
Yeah.
This being on this show, and it's not. And
I don't know. To me, it just feels like she thought she was going to be like the red carpet was going to be rolled out for the welcome wagon was going to come in and be like, hey, welcome to the group. And instead, she didn't. It seems to me she didn't feel like she had to put forth effort, that she just thought she'd be like, oh, I'm on the show now and everything's magically going to fall into place.
Right. It's just you don't have to really work at it. And it's it's still work. It's still a job. It's not just we sit around and see what happens.
Right.
Not that you need to create drama, but you have to be authentic and engaging and a likable person. And she just doesn't have that mix. Plus, someone pointed out on another podcast, it was Carlos King's podcast. The network chose her,
right?
In this whole Kenya thing.
Oh yeah.
They went with her. They're like, no, we can't film Kenya anymore. One, that's a big liability, revenge porn. But they also are like, we support you, we back you, we feel sorry for what happened.
Right.
We did our investigation, and even though you threatened someone with a pistol, we are choosing you. And maybe so she thought that, well, I'm the chosen one. Push this veteran off the show inadvertently, and so
that everything was coming up Millhouse for her, and it wasn't. Yeah. I mean, I just think it's interesting how often we see these first time people come on, and it's I think it's. I don't feel like she was being shut out by any means. That's
no,
the thing. On Potomac and even on OC with Katie, they were kind of shutting her out. In Potomac, they were trying to shut out all the new people, Wendy and all that.
Yes.
And on Jersey, that was happening to an extent.
Right.
I don't think that's what was happening here. I just think that everyone she had an opportunity and she just thought it would work differently than it did.
Right.
That's what
it wasn't
seemed
gelling.
like.
The whole process wasn't gelling for her, and. Yeah.
Anyway, it was a good episode. I mean, I'm excited about the rest of the season. I feel like if they keep up this sort of momentum, the fact that it wasn't just the same old notes again about, Portia and Drew and then Shamia and Portia.
God. I can't do Portia and Drew one more time. That just needs to be done.
Yeah. Unfortunately, we're going to get Ralph again, I'm pretty sure. We're going to probably hear some more about that. Unless they just end right in Grenada. Do they?
No, I think they must go back. It seems like it could be an event where Kelly and Britt get into it.
Okay.
Yeah. So
yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to the rest of the season, which is a lot more than I could say at the start of the season.
Yeah.
So I think it's working out.
Also, when they see Easter eggs of win things for Britt. Well, that's the thing too. It's she filmed the entire season. She did a bit of press. She does the after show. I really wanted to when things took a turn where she's I feel defamation, I feel harassed and not supported in a toxic work environment. When did it all go wrong in these past days, weeks?
Yeah, and so that's where I'm no legal genius. I'm not even a regular genius.
You're smart though.
Oh, thank you. We can stay married then. I appreciate that. No, it just feels like maybe this is some sort of maneuvering and that it didn't go the way that she wanted. And so now she might be trying to form a narrative that maybe wasn't always there or that wasn't obvious. Not that any of this is, transparent because obviously editing can do whatever the hell they want with it. But it just doesn't seem like she was having such a bad time. But, believe women.
Yeah,
I mean, if she says, that's why I say, like, I'm interested in
believe her about the photos not being.
No. I just believe her about this experience was something wrong with it. That like,
okay, like she was saying. Not treated.
Well,
she treated well. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
Like, I'm curious to know what exactly what she says, and again, I feel like there's always a grain of truth to something, especially when like lawsuits happen in a case like this.
Mm-hmm.
Like, even with the whole Leah thing, like there is an element of that where you're like, yeah, okay, the alcohol thing is a little excessive, that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I am curious to know what grain of truth there is in it. But again, it doesn't seem like, from what we know so far, that it's this, as horrible as she's made it out to be.
Right.
But anyway.
Right. I want to know more.
Yeah, maybe that's her whole point. Like, I'm going to tell my story.
I mean, I wonder where she will tell it, though.
Patreon.
She's gonna go reasonably shady.
Yeah, she's.
No, because they'll be like, no, honey.
Yeah.
You sue Bravo. We want nothing to do with you.
She'll call Robin Dixon though.
Well, Robin's on.
No, but they'll do their own podcast. Anyway, I don't know. So
maybe Tamron Hall, but I don't know.
Anyways.
So yeah, that was the show. And yeah, it's been an exciting week. And next week we have Miami starting, right? Yeah, we're gonna give it a shot. We're gonna see. We're not, we're not making promises. I'm not super excited based on the trailer, but I think we're gonna give it a chance and see how that goes. I think we're way more excited about next gen. Yeah, shockingly good. Not like the most amazing thing ever, but it feels like kind of an old school reality show situation. Yeah. And I kind of, except for a couple, I like everyone. Yeah. And I'm curious to know if they'll continue with the horrible subtitles with the different size fonts. Yeah. And if they keep doing these mix-up confessionals with I kind of like that. It kind of was like, oh, okay, that's different. I don't like it. I don't even like it on Love Hotel when it's like Van and Shannon sitting there like they're besties. Like, oh girl, you're not besties. No. So no. Well, all right. Do we have anything else to cover? That's it. Yeah. Well, thanks for joining us, and we'll talk about it next time. Until next time.